I hope this reading finds whoever needs to get this message right now. I sat down at my desk to just clear up my cards from the previous readings and clear the energy and pull cards for myself for the morning. And I hadn't used this deck, but I just picked it up. And the card that showed itself when I picked up the deck was this one. And as soon as I picked it up, I felt this heavy, dense energy, and I started to feel angry. And I kind of wanted to lash out. And I had made a reading, did a reading the other day about energies surrounding us, either in our physical environment, in our home, or in our communities, or even energetically that is happening, being directed or projected at you, and suddenly things go wrong within your environment, in your life, or you feel angry or sad or frustrated for no apparent reason. And it's usually because there are energies that are affecting you. So that can sometimes be like stuff happening in your country or globally. If there's some mass negative energy, it can be astrological transits. Like now we are in Aries season, and Aries is like a very fiery energy. It can be anger or it can be passion and drive. There's shadow and light aspects to everything. So energies affect us, but this feels like there is someone or a group of people. They don't have to be a group that are related to each other, just a number of people that are directing energies at you. So what is happening collectively and has been happening is that we are purging karma so that we can transmute it and change it, and anchor in higher frequency of love and light on the planet, so that we can foster positive change, right? So when you are not conscious of the awakening journey, what's happening collectively, astrologically, energetically, and even in the physical, and how it affects you, you can project your energies onto people. So for instance, on a spiritual awakening journey, it's becoming aware, becoming conscious of your shadow and your light aspects, so that you can live and be in a way that you can change what needs to be changed, heal what needs to be healed. And if you're not conscious and aware of that, you can attribute your pain, your struggle, your strife to someone else. You can notice things about someone else that sheds light on your shadows, and then you feel anger towards them, jealousy, envy, whatever projections, right? So a lot of the time these projections can be subconscious or unconscious. So people hold certain beliefs. My video cut out there. I think I just needed to shift my energy, because this energy is affecting me. That's how I channel. I feel emotions and energy, and I really need to center myself so that I can channel the energy without acting it out or letting it consume me. So yeah, people can subconsciously hold beliefs about you from the past that may be true or untrue. They can have emotions attached to experiences that they've had, or how you've triggered them, or they can be observing you in the present and have to play out certain things within their own mind and their own emotions so they can process it. And we don't all know how to do this. So I want to speak about energetic boundaries, but let's read the card first. It says Vampire. The light attribute makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. And the shadow attribute is depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. Now, again, we all have these archetypes, and we can exhibit either the light or the shadow aspect of it. But what we want is to bring awareness to it so that we can transmute it and shift it, and not have it constantly affect us throughout our lives and subconsciously attract negative experiences to us so that we can process the karma. In the book, it says, mythically returns every evening to his source of life until there is no more to be had. Energy vampires. Symbolic of the power dynamics that frequently drive male-female relationships, in which the male drains the power of the female for his own psychic survival and the female submits, or vice versa. So this can, often in society, we only acknowledge how men do certain things in relationships that are from their shadow aspects, and we don't realize that females do this as well, depending on who is more aware and who has done more healing and who is at a higher vibration. If your frequencies don't match, there's going to be an energetic drain from one to the other. This is how science works. It's physics. Something moves from a high concentration to a low concentration. So we have to have energetic boundaries and even physical boundaries in some instances to protect ourselves so that your energy is not continuously depleted. Shadow vampire form psychic attachments to others out of a desire for approval and maintenance. I think it's important to realize that even though this energy feels and can be very, very dark and dense, it's not necessarily that someone is evil or they are malicious. They just haven't done the healing work or the shadow work enough. And sometimes you have, and sometimes you fall back into your shadows. But you have to really to be able to be stable in your core energy, and when you get into dark spots, be able to access from source energy and your energy within yourself, to bring yourself back up to a higher vibration. And often we can look for that comfort, that release or relief from other things. It could be food, it can be addictions, it can be binge watching TV, which is not a bad thing depending on the intention. Or we can hold on to people in relationships that make us feel better, and not want to do the work for ourselves. It is always okay to reach out for help when you need it, and to have supportive connections. But if it is continuously and consistently unbalanced, when you are always the one giving or taking, and it gets to the point where you have no regard for how your behavior is affecting the other person, then there has to be a change. Look for lifelong patterns of behavior such as chronic complaining, overdependency, and holding on to relationships psychically long after they've ended. And this is, again, important. It's not someone who is in a bad spot now and reaches out for help and usually reciprocates, and when they are in a good spot, they give you the same kind of support and understanding. If you've been playing out a dynamic in a relationship for years and years and years and years, and it just gets worse and worse, even when it seems to get better, it doesn't really, and the energy doesn't shift and there's no progress, whichever end of the spectrum you're on here, the giver or the taker, this, you have to be able to set energetic boundaries. You have to hold the intention to call back your power, your light, and your energy from any place that it's being siphoned. You have to set the intention that I am no longer giving my energy to this person. And then you have to maintain those boundaries. So if someone is constantly calling you and you feel bad for them and you just keep answering the phone, even though it makes you feel drained and exhausted afterwards, you're going to have to get to the point where you verbalize and say, I don't have the capacity to hold space for you right now. Or you just say no. No is a complete sentence. Or some people don't get it and they still keep reaching for you, and then you just have to back away. Don't answer the call, or don't engage, don't interact. And in any given moment, you have to protecting yourself energetically, physically, emotionally, and mentally is not the wrong thing to do. Sometimes as empaths we feel bad because what if something bad happens to that person when I pull my energy back or I don't help them? And we have to realize that the same power you have, the same resources you have, the same capacity you have, they can draw on it from within themselves. They can draw on it from their team, from source. We all have that same angelic help. It can be really tricky to protect yourself, especially when it is people that we love, people that we are related to or connected to, or we have physical ties and contracts like an employer or a marriage or a legal obligation, financial obligation. It can be tricky. And there's so many tools, like I use crystals to help me. Black crystals absorb and protect against negative energy. Clear crystals like selenite or quartz, can help you clear your energy. Wearing protective jewelry, like, well, there's a number, I'm not going to go into all of it. Doing smudging and cleansing with incense and that type of thing. Doing meditations to energetically clear your energy and set the intention of sending back any energy that is not yours and releasing it to the universe. There are many tools, and you can always research it or seek counsel from someone that is able to or has the knowledge in this area. But sometimes it means that we have to energetically cut cords and ties or physically do that. And that can be really, really difficult. But the universe will continuously push you, and the situations will continuously get more and more difficult and more unbearable when we are meant to make a change there. And sometimes we can hope and wish that it'll just go away, knowing that there is something that needs to be done. So I'm going to use the tarot. I haven't set up my camera for this reading because it just suddenly I just suddenly had to do this. So I'm going to pull cards like this. Is there a specific scenario right now, Spirit, for whoever's watching, that we can give more specific details on who might be draining their energy? The Emperor. Okay, so this is a masculine energy. It doesn't have to be a man. It can be, if you are a woman, it can be a man. And this can be someone that has these physical features. Again, this scenario might not be intentional or conscious or intended to be malicious. It can be something as simple as someone misses you and you can sense it, and then it feels like you're missing them. Or you're empathic and you can sense that this person is going through something, and if you're not aware of it, it can feel, you can have turbulent emotions within you. There was something else that wanted to come through. Yes, so it could be that you are this masculine energy and someone else is there's an imbalanced energetic or physical connection with someone. There's something else that wanted to come through. I'm just trying to tap in. Okay, so the Emperor is about control. So there might be someone that has some sort of control over how you feel or what you're doing, or they want to have control. And we should never try to control anyone's life. If you are having a relationship dynamic with someone where they are trying to control who you see, who you talk to, what you do, the choices you make, and it feels unsettling, then you know something needs to happen there. Can we have more? 7 of Pentacles. I'm getting the sense that this might be something to do with money, an investment, maybe someone that you have a business with, or that you have given money or invested in, and now this muddies the water. It makes things complicated, and someone might need to fix this. If there's money that's owed to someone, this might need to be corrected, and the divine is always going to try and push us to do this in an energetically aligned way, in a higher consciousness way, not trying to steal from Peter to give to Paul. That's not going to work. It's not necessarily about the money, but about the underlying principles, about honesty and integrity, and owning up to what we've done. So there's soul lessons, karmic lessons that need to be learned through whatever physical experience we're having, and the money might just be the physical catalyst, but there is something that needs to be addressed, like maybe the lesson of being vulnerable and saying, this is the difficult position that I'm in, can you give me some understanding with this? Or being vulnerable, or acknowledging somebody else's difficult situation, like, I have not given this person what they deserve, and I can see how that is negatively affecting them, affecting our relationship. It's about all of us learning compassion both ways, but still having good boundaries, still making choices that are healthy for ourselves first, but also for others. Not negating your well-being for someone else's well-being, but being able to see when someone else is doing that to you. And then in the future, investing wisely, where you're putting your energy, your money, your time, your resources, who you're giving love to. The Page of Wands. Once we have this epiphany, then things change and we can make positive changes. Things don't have to go negatively. It can be resolved harmoniously, but we also can't be afraid of the conflict or whatever consequences must come. You can't continuously try to juggle things so that the whole thing doesn't come apart at the seams and the wheels don't come off. At some point, sometimes we have to choose one or the other. Am I going to sever the ties completely and walk away? Am I going to choose myself first, or continuously let this thing happen? This situation can be complex, and obviously this is speaking generally. And it's helpful to speak to someone that you trust, and work through the specific energetic dynamics, and also so that you can find the physical resolutions or solutions for these kinds of situations. Guidance. I want to close this out because it's quite long, but I'm going to pull one Moonology card as guidance. And this is what's coming in. New moon in Aquarius, bring love into this situation. And love doesn't mean giving away your power. Love doesn't mean allowing toxicity and negativity. Aquarius is the water bearer. So this is being connected to your emotions and using your emotions in a positive way. Being smart about things and innovative and creative, but in a positive way, not to control or manipulate, but still doing it in a loving manner, in a kind manner. So it's like the heart-mind connection. I do occasionally open up personal readings if that is something that you're interested in, if you're having these kind of dynamics. If you're looking for tools or having situations like this that you're struggling to process or change or transmute or work through, it's helpful to find others, even if it's just a friend or a family member, journaling, some way to find clarity and direction if you've been stuck in a situation like this or experiencing something like this.